I did find this new beer. It's called Kona. Have you heard of it?
Okay. I don't think I have.
So it's like Hawaiian, I guess. I don't know if they make it in Hawaii or not, or what. I mean, I guess I could just read the bottle, but it looks like this. For anybody that's listening, that's not really going to matter to you.
Huh.
But it doesn't. It's a golden ale, and it doesn't talk about anything to do with hops in it. And there are definitely bittering units in this thing.
Hmm.
So I bought it on total accident because I would have never bought it before if I knew that it was like that. And I mean, it's not bad. I don't know what the bittering unit like scale is on this thing because it doesn't say it at all, but it definitely is an IPA.
Hmm.
But I like it.
I mean, I'm not a big IPA guy. I'm more of like a stout porter, like a darker beer kind of guy.
I like light beers, like wheat beers are my favorite, or like a Hefeweizen or something. That this is not intense. If it was on a scale, it'd probably be like 40,
Okay.
40 to 60. Like it's not a lot. It's noticeable, but I think that it's more or less supposed to be like just the refreshing kind of like tangy hop, which I
Okay.
traditionally just don't like. But I had something similar like that at the movie theater tonight. I went and saw that movie Venom,
Oh, how
the
was it?
second Venom 2,
How was
which
it?
it was actually pretty good. Not gonna lie, it was good. It was I don't know if it was better than the first one or not, but the Woody Allen, not Woody Allen, Woody Harrelson is in it.
Yeah.
He is so weird. That is such a weird dude. I just don't get it.
You know what he loves doing?
What?
Going onto the beach in Hawaii, getting high as hell and playing chess with Willie Nelson.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, if you can do it, do it. I mean, I would do that. I don't even
I'm
know how to.
I'm slightly jealous. I don't even know how to play chess.
Is Roseanne also there, or is she too racist for them?
I don't know. It's a good
She's got
question.
that house in Hawaii.
Yeah, I
She's
don't
got a
know.
farm. Roseanne has a farm in Hawaii where she cries at now or something. Before this movie started, though, there were a ton of obviously trailers before it,
Yeah.
and like 90% of them I want to go see.
Okay.
And the majority of them are Marvel. I want to say there's like 3 or 4 that are supposed to come out by the end of the year. This is the first trailer I've seen for the third Spider-Man.
Oh.
I mean, I knew they were making it, but I didn't know that it was like that close. But that's coming out by Christmas, I think.
Hmm.
I still haven't seen Shang-Chi. Probably not going to, if I'm honest.
Hmm.
And
Uh,
then,
I haven't even heard of that one, honestly.
well, Venom is one of them too, technically,
Oh, okay.
because Disney bought those characters.
Yeah.
I don't know why Sony sold them when they won't sell Spider-Man. Like maybe because Venom's not as lucrative
Hmm.
because it's not as well known, but the movies are good anyways. And the Eternals is coming out.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah. So in the trailer, guess which villain is in it? Like they just show like his like facade. They don't actually mention him.
Hmm. I feel like I should know this, but why in the hell am I drawing a blank?
They've got Galactus in it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I it's a really good thing that they're done with the Avengers storyline because there's no way they'd be able to fight that dude.
No.
I don't even know what the Eternals are gonna do to fight that fucker. Because I mean, number one, he's as big as a planet or bigger. He eats planets. He's got to be bigger than it.
Yeah.
So, like, what the fuck's going on? They use him as an excuse as to why they didn't get involved in the Infinity War,
Yeah.
help fight Thanos, because they could have beat Thanos without the gauntlet. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we made a deal with someone. And then it shows Galactus, and it's like, why doesn't Galactus want to fight him? Because why doesn't he want the stones? They're ultra powerful, and he feeds off of like cosmic energy.
Yeah.
And there isn't any more cosmic energy in the universe that it have more than in those stones or other artifacts they have in the comics. But as far as the movies are concerned, those are top tier.
Hmm.
So why wouldn't he want them? Because that could also be used against him because it's one of the few things that could fight him.
Very true. Very true.
And the people that had them weren't able to use them because they're too powerful. So he's not fighting against the stones, he's fighting for the stones. Now, when Thanos gets the stones, he's fucked.
Yeah.
But isn't everybody? So, anyways, it's going to be really interesting how that develops.
Yeah.
Too bad Scarlett Johansson wrote herself out of everything. Did you end up seeing Black Widow?
I didn't see all of it. I saw like the second half of it.
That's the 5th then Marvel movie that came out this year. We just
been pumping them out.
We just overdosed on Marvel. And then there was Loki, the TV series. There was 6 episodes. That was 6 hours. So that's like another 6 movies, basically.
Yeah.
Then there was WandaVision. Oh, and then there was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And there's this What If series that's the animated series.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably like 50 hours of content that came out this year. It is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's impressive. You know how much Disney Plus makes every month? I want to say they have like, I know they're over 100 million subscribers now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just like balanced it at $10 a pop, I mean, that's over $100 million a month that they get for that.
Must be nice.
Now, I know that they're making exclusives for it and stuff. Like Loki, the TV series, was probably a shit ton of money. If you saw that, if anybody saw that, that is ridiculous. Like the production quality for each episode is the same quality as any movie that they put out.
That's insane.
So they probably dumped 100 million or more into that. So I mean, I know they're spending the money, but I mean, they're also making it back fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's over $1 billion a year then. It's
I mean, look
like
how well they did with the look how well they did with the Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah, I know. That should become, shouldn't the third one be coming out soon? The third season? Are they doing a third season? Because they kind of ended it. They didn't end it, but they need to go somewhere with it. But like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they ended it or not. I didn't even know they were talking about bringing a third season out.
Did you not see the second one?
I didn't get a chance to finish the second one. Been busy.
So what the fuck, dude? Like the last bit of the last. You probably heard what came out, but I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that didn't see it. Such a dick.
Don't be shaking your head at me.
But at least nobody in that series. Well, somebody did get fired for being like homophobic or something like that, but nobody just called Marvel out for not giving them enough money when they already gave them millions, like Scarlett Johansson did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs, I guess, of what she's talking about there, but she's saying that she should have got more money for Black Widow because it was supposed to go straight to theaters. That was what was written in the contract because they shot it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were obviously going to put it on in the theater. Then the pandemic hit and they didn't, but they did a double release. They did it on Disney Plus and in the theater. And it didn't perform as well as it normally does because pandemic was still going on, is still going on.
Yeah, you weren't able just to go to a movie theater and see it, especially like when they wanted to release it.
Right. And she is still making millions off of it.
Yeah.
She's getting a portion of what it's doing in the theater, which, by the way, it is hundreds of millions of dollars still.
Yeah, it's still a lot of freaking money.
And I'm sure that they gave her a flat rate for putting it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Which is in the millions. But she's saying that just because she didn't get paid basically as much as Robert Downey Jr. made, which he also made way too much money. That's why she's suing him. And they're like, what the fuck? She just wrote herself out of any future paycheck. Whatever she was looking to scrap from this project, I hope it's worth it for not being in any other Marvel movie that comes after this that is guaranteed to do hundreds of millions, if not in the billions of dollars, like they always fucking do. Right. They could have easily done another flashback movie like they did with her solo movie, or they could have wrote her back in because now the multiverse is a thing and literally anybody can come back.
Right.
That would have ruined her character. That doesn't mean that people weren't going to go see it.
Exactly.
Because people went and saw this one. And I get it. It's supposed to take place before she died and blah, blah, blah. But like, come on.
Right.
And she's the first Marvel woman, basically. I mean, not even basically, she is. She's
Yeah.
the only woman Avenger until like Avengers 2. So it's for like a solid 6-7 years. And she just said, fuck it.
Right.
Because I just don't understand it. I didn't agree with it. It's not like Disney's doing anything wrong there either. It's not like it's like the studio system where they just totally fuck everybody like they did in the 50s. So that sort of leads us into our topic of kind of like what did we say that it was called? It was responsibility in media and muckraking media is the name of our episode today, and this is our 7th episode now, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I know.
This is the 7th episode that we've done 7 straight weeks.
Yeah.
Of doing these, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the title and subject comes from obviously what's happening in recent news with Facebook. I don't know if the thing with the whistleblower has anything to do with Facebook going down on Monday, but I will say that totally fucked my day up because I use WhatsApp a lot and Facebook owns WhatsApp, and I tried sending something. I think I was trying to send pictures or something to my dad because I just got my chores done in my house.
Right.
And they weren't going through or anything. I thought it would, and this happens a lot because that app also sucks dick. Like Facebook owns it, and they are multi-billion-dollar company, and that app sometimes just sucks so bad.
Kind of like the WWE network.
And then they dumped it, and now they're on Peacock. They're an exclusive thing on Peacock now. After you dumped all that money in there to make your, I'm not even going to talk about WWE again. That was last week. Just give me a break on that one. If there's anything that Vince fucked up on, it's WWE Network. So anyways, Facebook. Yeah, I'm trying to use WhatsApp and it's not working. So I'm like relaunching the app. I'm restarting the internet. It's got to be a me problem because like this can't just be happening to literally everybody in the entire world, even though it did. So I reinstalled the app, which deletes fucking basically everything you had. If you can have it backed up, but it never is the same.
Right.
But whatever. I just wanted it to work, and I figured this is the only way that it was going to happen. I didn't want to wait. So I do that, still doesn't work.
Right.
Then I notice on Instagram, but sometimes Instagram fucks up too. So I'm like, well, but anyways, time to go to work. So I didn't worry about it. And I swear to God that one of the finance gals that I work with just had a complete tantrum over it.
Oh boy.
She's just like, I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm like, well, I'm surprised you noticed because, it's like 10 in the morning. And we're at work. Like, come on.
Real quick, speaking of that, I saw a meme about it when it went down, and it was a picture of, and the picture was taken years ago, is when George Jones got pulled over, and they have dash cam video of him getting a DUI, and he's arguing with the cops, and the picture is George Jones pointing at this. If this when social media goes down, you had to argue to strangers the old-fashioned way.
Right. You got to pull up in your lawnmower after you're done with the liquor store and go just bitch out your neighbor. Right. Well, the other thing too is, I'm not surprised people where I work at noticed because we do a lot of advertising on Facebook and stuff. So then all of a sudden when you're not able to even get on Facebook, let alone because it wasn't even just like their front end stuff, like where you and me would go on Facebook, it was Facebook ads. You couldn't get on there either. Like it was all down. So that was ridiculous. And like I said, I don't know what that had to do with what just came out in the media or not. And I haven't really researched this. So this is my fault too. For not trying to figure out what exactly they said that it was a DNS failure or something like that.
Okay.
Which, like, come on, really, for all of it, for everything that you guys own, you had a DNS problem, and that's why it was the entire day, and you lost so much revenue in advertising.
Yeah.
And pissed a shit ton of people off. And now a bunch of stuff has to get fixed. And now ads have to be reworked because they didn't start the time they were supposed to because you missed a whole fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, I just find it hard to believe. And then the whistleblower comes out and says all these things about Facebook spreading like malicious content and promoting things to get a negative reaction out of people to make people angrier. And not necessarily in a bad, like in a evil way,
Right.
I don't think, because this whistleblower did have something different about her, is that she offered like solutions and ways that they could do better and fix their problems, and she wouldn't be pissed anymore.
Right.
But she said that they're so profit driven that they spread things. I mean, terrible things get more clicks, apparently, at least according to her, and then that's all that Facebook cares about, which is probably true. And then you have Mark Zuckerberg come out and go in his robot voice, just like, none of these things make any sense and blah, blah, blah. Well, of course they fucking do.
Right.
And he acts like he's just some, I don't know if anybody even really likes Mark Zuckerberg anymore. He's probably just grilling meats out back and making little kids cry and drinking their tears or something.
Maybe kicking a puppy or something.
Probably. He has a bunch of kids in his backyard while he's grilling puppies.
Oh. I said kicking puppies, not grilling them.
He kicks them to tenderize them, then grills them. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Maybe he did that.
Just no.
But probably not. But probably not. But the other, when I hear about these things and then I start to think about like the ethics of everything, of Facebook doing whatever, my immediate reaction is to start down the path of, well, you don't have to go on Facebook. You don't have to have an account. You don't have to look at these things that piss you off. You don't have to react to things that piss you off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, should they be responsible for it? Because they are such an outlet. They are such a powerhouse when it comes to being able to do literally anything they wanted to. They could, that could be used as like a whole separate propaganda machine that like nobody's ever seen before, because it's different than like normal advertising to try to spread it. It's different than seeing something on TV because you can interact with it now. It's different, and you can save it and you can just bring it up on a whim and you can do this and you can do that.
Right.
It is such a different story. And I don't know how many subscribers Facebook has, but it is so many to the point to where it is, when I think about it further, it is absolutely a hazard to not try to regulate those things. But then we also found out that they absolutely have their own bias, which of course, because they're owned by somebody who's just a total asshole. And they had, I don't know if you heard about this, but they had that committee that was specifically there to make sure Trump did not get elected by managing posts and advertising on their platform and things like that. So you could have like $100 million in advertising money specifically to go to Facebook from the Trump campaign, and they could buy spots on Facebook. But that doesn't mean that Facebook is actually going to give you the leverage over whoever it is that they want to win.
Right.
Because for whatever reasons. And then as soon as the election came around and they saw that Biden was going to win, they dissolved the committee, because it was supposed to be, I don't remember what they called it, but it didn't have that exact name. It was like their political exploratory blah 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 thing that they had a fancy name for, that existed after Trump was elected the first time and then was dissolved right after Biden won, and was 100% politically charged. So that is dangerous.
A little bit.
Right. It's just as, I mean, it's way more than CNN or Fox could ever be. Oh,
for sure.
Because it reaches way too many people and influences way too many people.
Exactly.
And what you can do with that, like the psychology behind it, which I can't sit here and explain, is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
so should they have to answer to the government then about it? They probably should.
I mean, yeah, they would probably have to.
Right. Because that is just as bad as, it's going down the same path as whistleblowing on like a government agency, because it's that powerful. It might not be, and they definitely have information in the same way that the government does.
Oh yeah.
It's just not funded by taxes. We literally are paying them to do it.
Right.
And it's arguably stronger than an intelligence agency, to be honest.
Yeah.
because they can do and say whatever they want and have every ability to influence you to do it. So having said that, I kind of am drawing an analogy to like the Edward Snowden whistleblowing incident, like 2013.
Oh yeah.
Where he released all those surveillance documents that were like 200,000 or something. It wasn't just for the US either. It was for other countries too. But it was like 58 or some tens of thousands of documents specifically on the United States government surveillance tactics and stuff like that he thought were unconstitutional. And I think that the government found out were unconstitutional as well.
Yeah.
So then the question is he a hero for it? Is he a traitor for it? And how do you correlate that with this current whistleblower that's doing the same thing to Facebook? She signed something obviously saying that she would never do something like that, but then does it because to her it's ethically responsible.
Right. Yeah.
So where do you draw the line for that? And it's almost like how do you punish or protect those people? So like what would your initial thoughts be if you were part of the Supreme Court or something and then this came up and it was your decision on what to do with this whistleblower? And do you treat it case by case when that happens?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like at first would be case to case, but then you realize how much influence social media has. And you have to be like, all right, we need to find a way to regulate this, because if not, it takes one lunatic and everybody loses their mind.
Right. But at what point is it too much government intervention then? Because it is a private organization and it is worldwide. And just because you can stop it here doesn't mean they can't do it other places. But I mean, you have to take care of the areas that you can take care of.
Exactly.
Yeah. You can't force them or stop them to do something in Europe. That's everybody else's problem.
Right. But yeah, that's a tough call.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
because I am not exactly for government regulation in the first place. There needs to be some, otherwise it's just chaos.
Right.
But like at the same time, what technically is Facebook doing wrong? They can do whatever it is that they want with their own company. I mean, if it was way smaller and didn't matter, then nobody would be talking about it because I guess it doesn't have as big an impact. But the fact is that it does. But at what point are you held to a different standard? And why? Is it just because they make a shit ton of money and they have every ability to do something about it? I guess that's a good enough excuse.
Right.
But at the same time, why should you regulate a company for doing things that it always did, that it tells you about? And I mean, I guess it doesn't tell you about that, but I mean, I'm sure somewhere in an agreement that's written, it's 5 million pages long. There's like a freedom to target advertise or something like that, or this or that you sign for by signing up for the website. That honestly, I mean, to me personally, I don't even care. But that's because it doesn't affect me that way, because I mean, I have Facebook honestly to look at dumb shit.
Right.
And if something pisses me off, I'm more or less pissed at one person for posting it.
Exactly.
And I am being brainwashed and going fucking nuts over it. But just because it doesn't happen to me and because I don't spend as much time on there as somebody else might, doesn't mean it doesn't happen to other people.
Right. Well, no, and I was just thinking, like, if they were going to regulate anything, I think it would have to be how, I don't know, I think it would have to be in the advertising part of it, like on TV.
How do you mean?
Like, you know how...
I mean, like a disclosure?
I'm trying to think, like, thinking the name of it, like how to describe it. But no, like I feel like there's some kind of laws, like on TV, you have to do this and this, and it can't, you know, I don't know if everyone gets a fair share, or, you know, yeah, you could pay this much for TV. Well, somebody could pay this much for TV ads for a campaign, and this guy could pay this much, but he doesn't have as much, but he's still, you know, I don't know if like social media or internet advertising would be on the lines of that, where they can kind of regulate it.
I think that Facebook to a degree probably makes its own rules, because to be fair, anything could be taken as like a triggering ad, but it could be a video that somebody put up that then is just put on your feed that is not an ad necessarily, but is
Yeah,
something
like
else.
they could just take it off of YouTube and throw it on there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are so many just that's the other problem. I think that maybe internet advertising in the form of being on someone's on a private platform is
Yeah.
so much different.
Yeah. Like I said, that's just a really tough call. Like I don't know, like how do you go about that?
Right.
Because like even though we've had the internet for what 30 years, we're
Not like
still
this thing.
right, but no, it's still evolving, and we're still trying to catch up with it and learn about it. And it's
It does evolve way too quick. You are right. I mean, it goes faster than we can keep up with it, and
yeah,
faster than the laws can keep up with it. Because before Facebook, nothing like this really was a problem and existed. I mean, MySpace was a thing, but that was it.
right,
And they did not do anything to the extent that Facebook does.
right. MySpace was a wild time.
That was its own weird thing too, and you did have to be careful on it. But it just was like that was never recognized like as an official thing. Like businesses would not be spending millions on millions on millions to advertise on MySpace because it just did not have that power.
Right. I mean, they advertise, but not they. It's nothing like what Facebook is now.
Right. To where Facebook is a publicly traded company and is recognized everywhere and very respected.
Yeah.
And probably has a market cap of like 800 billion or something stupid.
Right.
They might be over a trillion by now.
It wouldn't surprise me.
So, anyways, I think that the whole idea is senators have come out to say that they are going to do everything that they can to protect that whistleblower because they're calling her a hero for doing this, which didn't we already know that, or we had maybe an idea, but now I think she has it in writing and she has documents that she's submitted, and she is specifically going through each and every one of those to completely dismantle how they do things.
Yeah.
So that's the proof I think that everybody needed. But that company also is notoriously tight-lipped when you go to ask them questions. It's
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Right. Well, I mean, like, look at Google. They're like, oh, hey, this is what we're doing.
Right.
And Facebook's just like, no.
Facebook and Apple are like that.
Yeah, I don't know why Apple's like that.
Apple is so weird. Like in murder cases and stuff, the government's like, we need to look through this guy's phone, and they're like, you can go and fuck yourself.
Right.
Because you come up to the front door asking a simple, honest thing that anybody normal would just be willing to cooperate with, and they just slam the door on your dick. Like just immediately.
That's not right.
They do it.
Oh, that is not right. That's funny though. Oh, the problem is I'm picturing that in my head.
Oh, what, Apple slamming their titanium lead door shut on your dick? Close the blinds and act like you're not there.
You know, like as you start walking away, you just see that little peep and like the blinds just making sure you left.
Then the gate slams behind you.
Right.
Right.
But no, like speaking of like media and such things, there's a interesting thing going on in Hollywood right now with the behind the scenes workers, like production guys, cameramen, some of the like behind like the lower end producers. They're in union discussions right now for their contract. It expired in July and it's October.
So are they going on with no deal basically? Like this gap in between means that nobody has, like, there's no arrangement?
From what I've read, they're supposed to be going in tomorrow morning, so it'll be, well, technically today over here. That they're going to go over it Friday and try to come up with a deal. Hopefully it happens because
but in the meantime, right now, are they just not working?
that I do not know. I really haven't been able to find or like read on that.
Okay. I wonder, yeah.
But yeah, if they go on strike, then it's gonna be a big old halt on movies and TVs for a while.
Yeah.
But
So
anyways,
that's happening in California. And that's, I feel like they do this a lot. I feel like they've done it before.
Well, like the crazy thing is, like last time the crews walked off the job was in 1945.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and listen to
Who
this.
was
I mean,
working in 1945? Weren't we like, a little busy right then?
doesn't say the date when they walked off, but like then like,
We were busy for three
but
quarters of the year
right.
doing something more important.
But the crazy thing is that I'm quoting the New York Times on this. When they walked off the job in 45, many stage workers were represented by a non-defunct organization called the Conference of Studio Unions. Back then, IATSE, that's the union right now,
Okay.
was controlled by the Chicago Mafia.
Oh, nice.
In 1945, which, and quoting, which studios bribed the thwart of labor unrest.
Okay. No, I mean that makes sense. The thing is though, there are so many private production companies that they could outsource.
But I think the workers they have, I think they are union.
Okay.
There's
Maybe
like,
there's like some regulation to where you have to have union workers.
yeah,
Like if you're gonna hire them to do this, then they have to be part of a union for you to hire them.
right. And like, there's
If
they said
it's
there's,
actual Hollywood, like A-list, big budget stuff.
yeah, apparently there's like 100. I think they said like there's like over 150 some thousand employees, and like 60,000 of them signed for the strike to happen if they don't get if the union doesn't give them a new contract.
Damn. All right, that will hurt.
Company.
That will hurt.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Right. I mean, and think about how many people it takes to even make one movie in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, especially the crew.
Right. And that's just crazy. I'm like, you think about it, like that number of people, you're like, oh, well, there goes like almost all the movies and new TV shows that are supposed to be coming out.
Right. I mean, the thing is, though, is that I'm sure that the studio could outlast them.
Right.
Studios.
I mean, they could probably hire like non-union workers for a while or something to that extent.
Right,
I don't know how that goes.
Contract production companies or something, which is absolutely what's going to happen. So I think, unfortunately, for that business, there's just it's way too flooded with the amount of people that want to do those jobs.
And there's
quite a few care. And this could be used as such leverage.
And there's quite a few celebrities that are backing him too.
Right. And you could, and even if you do have to be union, well, yeah, but celebrities do that. And they're too addicted to the $1 million paychecks too.
Right. And it's more or less just the streaming pay. Like I guess the union they want, I don't know, like a small portion of the streaming pay. And like,
wait, the production companies want streaming royalties?
Hold on, let me pull this up because I was just reading this.
That's interesting. I've not heard anybody talk about that.
Oh, was this no? Okay, so all right, so this was back. It stalled. The negotiations stalled on September 20th, and a bargaining entry for studios, including Amazon, Apple, and Netflix, declined to counter the union's most recent proposal. IATSE, as a union is known as sometimes just AI, wants better pay for streaming service work, higher wages for coordinators and assistants on all productions, longer rest periods between shifts on weekends, and strengthened required for meal breaks during marathon shoots.
Okay. I mean, their schedules are fucking ridiculous. That didn't, okay, so they meant for stream work.
Right.
Not,
that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, not going like to theater work or anything like that.
Right. I haven't eaten anything after dinner, and those Bud Light Platinums are a little higher alcohol content. With me.
Are you telling me that you're fucked up?
No, but I'm slightly buzzed.
But you're getting there. Okay. That's good.
No, I want to get there. I'll just go in the car and get the bottle of Basil Hayden whiskey I just bought.
Why'd you leave it in the car? It's gonna get hot.
I don't have any ice to put it on.
Why did you put it inside?
Yeah, I'll run it inside after this. It's not like I'm that far from my car.
Okay.
But no, yeah, like I just think that's kind of interesting because like
yeah, no, it is. I don't know what I mean, I didn't know that there was even necessarily a different rate versus like streamed content versus theatrical release.
Yeah.
because some of it's also a hybrid of both.
Right, especially nowadays, especially with the I think that's the main reason why they're doing it, especially with the pandemic.
Well, right. I mean, that's also given an excuse to so many things that probably wasn't even in a contract that now they have to renegotiate, and now everybody's lost. And
Right,
nobody knows what to pay anybody, because if we go back to that situation, then it needs to be beneficial to the studio because they might lose their asses on it.
right.
But at the same time, you can't jump out production workers. But I'm sure that whatever they were getting paid before, because I mean, as long as it's the right studio, like if it was Disney, Disney just, I mean, I want to say they almost made more money than they ever did last year
Oh
because
yeah.
Disney Plus saved them.
Oh
If they
yeah.
did not release Disney Plus when they did, and that was just pure luck, they would
Yeah.
have just bit the curb.
Oh yeah, because I mean, on top of it, another good chunk of their revenue was from their, Disney World, yeah, Disney World and Disneyland.
Right. I mean, but think about it this way: if you just had a bunch of things that were supposed to be released um in the theaters, like
Yeah.
all the movies that came out and stuff, or which I guess a ton of movies didn't really come out, but if you didn't have all of the Disney Plus original series planned
Mhm.
and made basically, because then they wouldn't even be out yet, you would have to develop something like that, which means now you'd be forced into it. It'd be like a special project that you'd have to come up in a time of a crisis to spend money that you don't have from banks that aren't going to give it to you.
Exactly.
And they just happen to have it in the nick of fucking time. Like Disney Plus launched like what, maybe 5 months before the pandemic. And they didn't have any original content yet. They just started uploading stuff they already had, but they were
Right.
working on it. And then they got it done on time enough for them to be able to come out with it the next year, which then made it so, like we were talking about before, guaranteed over $1 billion in revenue that year, then
Yeah.
just from that alone. And that saves so much.
Yeah.
And they
That.
didn't have to do work for half the time either. Like they weren't producing anything and they were just getting that money.
Yeah.
They had the Mandalorian and like that was it.
Yeah. That was. They talk about like just the perfect place, perfect time scenario. Honestly, for them.
They seriously luck out with that so often.
Oh yeah.
And but I mean also they do actually have really good leadership. Bob Iger is ridiculous. He is one of the best CEOs I think alive.
Yeah.
Because he took them struggling, I think like 2007 or 8 is when he came out. No, 2008 or 9 is when he came on.
Yeah.
And as soon as he came on, that was when their animation was pretty poor. They had some good ones, like Finding Nemo was pretty recent at that point, and they had some other stuff. I think
They had like Cars and they had something else, which.
and they were all right, and they were making money, but it just wasn't enough volume of stuff,
Right.
and they weren't doing anything better than anybody else. And then he comes on, and then his first thing is buy Star Wars.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's $5 billion.
Yeah.
And somehow he convinced them to do it. And now they are just making hand over fist money with Star Wars
Oh yeah.
and have been. And then now with the Mandalorian and how they can expand that universe and especially make it more adult.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a different story. Capturing that demographic guarantees now that you're going to get the subscription base and maintain it.
Well, even look at like the live action movies they've done. Like, oh god, what was the one Angelina Jolie was in?
Recent?
Yeah, it can't like past like 5 years.
The Angelina Jolie. Oh, Maleficent.
Yes,
I didn't
that
see any of those, but those I know that they're
they
popular.
did a hell of a job with those, and like then Cruella with Emma Stone. Oh my god, they did such a good job with that.
So hold that thought. I've been trying to watch it, and certain somebody doesn't want to watch it. So which I'm trying to change. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on tonight. Fuck it.
Do it.
I heard that it's good.
It's really I've watched it like 3 times, no, 2 times since I've seen it in theaters because now it's free on Disney Plus.
Right. Which is
But no, yeah,
beneficial
like,
to me because now I don't have to pay for it.
right.
I just get
Well,
to see it.
and that's the thing, like, and they really started off with that real like the live action of more adult style movies, but kids could watch them too. Is when they did the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Are they doing
I know.
another one now that
Huh?
Johnny's not a rapist?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet.
I don't know either. I know they're doing an Aquaman 2. That's not them though.
It's not DC.
That's DC, but who does DC? Warner Bros.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. I think it's Warner Brothers because they've been partners forever.
Yeah. Did you see the commercials for that movie Dune?
No, I didn't.
Jason Momoa and Batista are in that.
Oh,
Yeah. I want to see those two fight. Because also Jason Momoa, he's huge. And
yeah.
he looks really big, like in Game of Thrones and everything, but Batista's also just fucking different.
Right. I like the one Rocket Mortgage. I think it's a Rocket Mortgage commercial with Tracy Lawrence. No,
I don't know. I haven't seen a Rocket Mortgage commercial actually.
It was for the Super Bowl. Tracy Morgan, and he made the comment of like fighting Batista, and this like average guy is in an alley and he's fighting Batista. He's just out.
Like Jason Momoa is like what? He's like 6'4", and he's built. He's probably like 240.
Yeah,
solid muscle. Batista's 6'6", 290.
Yeah,
on a bad day.
Right.
He was 315 when he was younger, and this dude's in his 50s.
Yeah,
he doesn't get enough credit. Goldberg gets all the credit, and Batista does not.
Yeah, he's a good talent, man.
But I'm excited for that. Like, there's seriously a big long list. I'm probably going to the movies every weekend now. As soon as stuff starts coming out. So
right.
Well,
yeah. It's October now, so now it's time to watch Halloween movies. Horror movies.
Are they ever going to stop with the Halloween series? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling they're gonna. I think this is the last one they're doing. I think they are going to kill Michael Myers.
Well, they did last time.
Well, apparently, or
he was never supposed to be like this. He's not supposed to be Jason Voorhees. He's supposed to be a lunatic that has like this weird psycho strength. Sure, maybe you'll stab him and he doesn't like notice or feel it or anything, and he's wicked strong and he can do all but he's slow. He's supposed to be a human,
right? Well, and that's like when Rob Zombie did his version of Halloween, and it's the prequel of the original Halloween. That one I liked that one because that was like the story on how Michael Myers became Michael Myers.
Yeah. But I mean, did anybody see Halloween 2 in like the 70s when they burned him alive in that hospital? Like, if burning him doesn't work the first 3 times you do it, then why are we doing it again?
Right.
I don't know. The trailer was weird. I loved those movies.
Yeah.
But dude, Jamie Lee Curtis is like 70.
I just kind of like.
And why does Michael Myers not age?
Like, there's just a new guy. Just nobody's telling us.
I guess.
I'm still going to watch the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre because just him dancing in the middle of the road with that chainsaw is worth it.
Oh, it's amazing. It's the best thing.
It is so worth it. It's the best thing in the world.
I am really trying to consider getting some people together from work to rent out a movie theater and play something like that, maybe.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't it?
The only thing that sucks about that movie, there's just a lot of unnecessary screaming.
Yeah, it hurts my throat to even watch it.
Right. All right, can we just turn this down? Wait for it. All right, I'll turn it back up.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm excited actually for all the stuff that's coming out too.
Yeah.
So, as we digress into movies and stuff, when we were actually talking about whistleblowing and everything.
Well, the strike in Hollywood kind of prompts that, and the beginning.
Right. All these things go together so much, anyways. They're cultural things that are important to us.
Oh yeah, I mean, on social media, you can see you can see the trailers after the theater. They get released in the theaters.
Right. Exactly. So, anyways, before we go down into that rabbit hole, I think this is a good spot to end. So we will be back next week with our 8th episode then.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you then.
All right, we'll see you guys.